Hi, it's Dawn with Red Barn, and perhaps my least favorite color, but that's not true. I only like this color in autumn. We're going to play with oranges. Aussie Red Gold, Permanent Orange, Pyrrol Orange, of course, my ever favorite, Quinacridone Gold, Quinacridone Deep Gold, and Quinacridone Burnt Orange. So I've got a few on the plate here, a little bit, because I just don't want a lot of orange. I just don't use it very often. I'm sure this it's a perfectly great color for somebody, but it's just not me. I enjoy it in the fall. All right, well, let's see how we can do. Let's bring the camera in here a little bit, so hang tight while I bring this down and not look at the palette, but let's actually look at the boom. We'll get there. Technology is our friend. All right, and of course, as per usual, I have it backwards. Why do I do that? And I don't want to paint over. Well, all right, I guess we can do this. Let's not drink our water. And we've done a couple of these already. But when I was deciding on doing a doing a palette, I thought I would just make a full color range here. So let's start with Aussie Red Gold. And this is a new color to me as of, just a few weeks ago. And I really like it. I'm going to move this water out of the way. Casting shadows again. That's not my phone. Not that anybody cares.
Sure.
All right, so this color is still beautiful as always. It's very burnt orangey.
Yeah.
But I suspect when we get over here to Quin Burnt Orange, it's going to be even more so. We're going to see more burnt. This feels very pumpkin-y. I think Permanent Orange and Pyrrol are going to give us a lot of... It's not primary, it's not a primary color, but more Crayola orange. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw that.
Looks a little darker than I would like for the third shade, but we're just going to go with it. The names are not always a good indication. This is red gold, but clearly there's way more gold here. than red. But I think that's the whole point, is you just got to discover the colors for yourself. I do like it though, as far as oranges go. Don't know that I like it better than my Quins. I'm actually excited to see some of these colors up next. I know what Pyrrol's, these two colors are just going to be hello orange, but I'm excited to see how Aussie is up next to these two for sure. Quin Gold and Quin Deep Gold. I'm eager to see how they contrast with each other, or compare, whatever the word is we want to use there. Okay, moving on to Permanent Orange. Which on the palette looks super sticky. Yeah. Let me see if I can activate this a little bit better before I ever hit the paper with it. Of course, there's a hair of mine right smack dab in the middle. That's always fun. I love it when that happens. Okay. Permanent Orange, here we go. Yep. It's about as pumpkin-y as you can get right there. There's a place for everything though. That's why we have a whole box of crayons. And I do like the whole rainbow of colors. I know a gal who just absolutely loves the color green. And her car is green, and she wears green, and she gravitates towards green. And you know, there's other people who just love purple, and they always wear it, and they love it. Me, I don't know that I have a favorite color that I wear, or care what color my car is. I buy my car based on my climate, really. I have a white car, because in Florida it just makes sense to have a white car. My son has a black car. I know people with black cars and black interiors, and I'm always amazed that seems okay to them. Perfectly fine. But I don't like the heat. I know. I live in Florida. What can you do? I hate the heat. I'm a polar bear in the tropics, or at least the subtropics. Well, this is just as I would have expected Permanent Orange to be. Very orange. Very pumpkin. No surprises with this color. I suspect the wash is not going to be surprising either. Although the wash might be one of those colors that you might enjoy using. Yeah, I like that wash. Okay. Let's go to Pyrrol, which looks like a big... First of all, it's separated from its binder, or its vehicle, as the tube says, vehicle. But I'm trying to kind of reconstitute that a little bit. Recombine them, reacquaint them with each other. Hello, hello, how are you? I'm well. Okay, Pyrrol orange. Yep. If the other was pumpkin, I'm not sure what this is, except for it's got a lot of red in it. Makes me kind of think of vermilion, which I keep in with my reds, but it might be more orange than red, honestly. Vermilion might belong with the oranges, even though I keep it in my red box. Might be fun to swatch out Pyrrol and vermilion side by side and see how those two play off each other. Okay. This feels like a really rich pigment. I discovered, as I was going through looking for some colors, I discovered I have a couple more Winsor Newtons than I really realized I have. And some of the ones I've been buying are the ones that are named after Winsor. You know, Winsor Blue we've already discovered in a previous video. But I found I had a Winsor Red. And I didn't remember buying that. Of course, you know, sometimes we buy things thinking, oh, so-and-so says that's a good color, and you're in the store or you're online shopping and you need another something or other to get you to free shipping, so you add it and then you never touch it. Has that ever happened to you? Happens to me. Or my personal favorite, when you buy it twice because you haven't used it and you didn't realize you had it, and yeah, anyway. So, with the major paint manufacturers, paint manufacturers, you know, Golden with their acrylics and their watercolors, and Daniel Smith and Holbein and Schminke. It's rare for them to, I think rare is the right word, for them to, they all use the same names. French Ultramarine, Quinacridone Gold, when that was being made. Sadness. Cadmium Yellow, and they all use the same names. Prussian Blue, Indian Yellow, Phthalo Turquoise. There's not a lot of variance between, and oftentimes, wow, that just does not feel like I just shaded that out at all. Holy cow, that's just the same exact pigment. We gotta fix that. Same exact value, rather. Anyway, Winsor Newton, they, well, at least for two colors, Winsor Blue and Winsor Red, and I'm wondering now, I'll wonder with a Google search later, they have paints that they name after themselves. Seems a little pompous. No, I'm just kidding. Winsor Newton, you do whatever you want to do. But, you know, there's not a Daniel Smith turquoise or whatever. There's not a self-named pigment or self-named paint after that artist. They just have what I would call standard names. And I just wonder, and I should look it up instead of wondering, the origin story behind the Winsor Newton Blue, the Winsor Blue and the Winsor Red. Maybe that will be a future discussion. Right now, I'm trying to balance out these oranges, these hues, these washes. Then these two are going to be too much alike. Oh, Lordy mercy. Let's offload some pigment here. I hate doing that, but it's not really working out that well. All right, Pyrrol, you are a serious color to be taken very seriously. I respect your colorness, even if I'm not a big orange fan. There. I think we found a nice gradation there. Up the chart. Okay. Next is our favorite, our perennial, quintessential, never to be duplicated because they stopped making it. Am I still whining about that? Yes, yes I am. Do I have 2 fresh new tubes of it in my stash? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I still want more just in case? Yeah. Yeah, I know they're making azo gold now. But I haven't played with it yet. All right, Quinn, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, you are such a beautiful pigment. Well, combination of 2 pigments technically, but that's not trifle. You're a little gummy, however. All right, let's add a little water to this palette and let's activate you just a little bit better before we go to the paper again. Because you are making me work on moving you around the paper and I don't like it. Yeah, you are really sticky. I don't like it when it's like that. All right. Let's come on. Here we go. That's a little better. Now let's load the brush up with the pigment so we can get a nice saturated square. I do love seeing these at full strength. That's one thing about my former swatching technique that I've mentioned this before. I never felt like I got to see the full strength, and I never felt like I got to see the midtones. I really felt like I got to see almost full strength, almost midtones, and then a wash. The wash always seemed to be there. But sometimes you want to know what that puppy's like at full strength, you know? I've always loved this color, and I am not a brown person. Nope, that's not true. I'm a vintage person. I love vintage and rustic and antique-y things. I love going to antique shops. I love my home decor is full of antiques. But, you know, I don't wear a lot of brown. But I sure love to art with brown. One of my favorite browns of all time, shameful plug for Tim, it's not for me, walnut stain. If you've never tried, well, everybody has their favorite brown. This one's mine. It's a cool brown, where this is a warm brown, but oh my gosh, that's my go-to brown. Go-to brown. All right, Quinn. Let's go up here to the Jan Brady square. Here's where it gets beautiful. Golly. Oh yeah. Yeah. And this one's so easy to, you know how I struggle a little bit with the Pyrrol, getting it balanced? No struggle with this one. Maybe I'm just more used to working with it, and I know what I'm looking for, or maybe I just think the color moves around a bit better. I don't know. But I love it. I do's. Okay. Last but not least, Quin Gold, let's do your wash. This is probably my least favorite square of your repertoire. Probably my least favorite because it's just so yellow, which is also not. I like yellow as an accent color. I just do not like yellow as the main character. Okay, Quin Gold. Now, let's move on to your cousin, your older cousin, Quin Deep Gold, which we've done this one too, but we like it, so we'll do it again. This to me has a bit more red in it. And at full strength, these look far more cousin-y than they do, far more twins than cousins. But as they water down, or as they wash out, or whatever that phrase is that I'm not saying right, their differences become more apparent. Yeah, wowzers. Those are very similar. Charge that a little bit more to try to get that like really saturated. All right, let's add a little water. Ooh, I didn't trace that square. Oh well. We're going to imagine it. Nobody will ever know. Still very similar, very much in the same vein. Okay. This makes me want to jump on Amazon and go see if there's any more of these tubes. I know I'm being a brat. I just like what I like, you know? I have been in love with Quin Gold probably 10 years. Several paintings behind me on my wall in my studio feature Quin Gold. I learned about Quin Gold when I took a class maybe more than 10 years ago now, if I think about it hard enough, with Donna Downey. I took a class of hers, and it was a virtual class. It was e-class, whatever. And you know, you get the supplies they tell you to get, and it was an acrylic mixed media class, and the color was I got this color in acrylic. I still have that bottle, or maybe I'm on my second one or my third one. You know, whatever. Point is, I got to try Quinacridone Nickel Hazel Gold, which is the title in acrylic, and I immediately, that with teal makes some beautiful contrast with each other. It just makes the two of each other just like go electric. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, I fell in love with teal and quinacridone nickel azo gold is a combo in mixed media, and so now a lot of my pieces have that in there. And so when I started playing around with watercolor, of course I picked up Quin Gold. But and Quin Deep Gold, which they don't have Quin Deep Gold in acrylic, but they do in watercolor. And back then, Golden didn't make watercolor. You can get years later they came out with their own watercolor line, which is called Core, Q-O-R. And they make gorgeous watercolors too. Okay, last one. Quin Burnt Orangelo. Quin Burnt Orange. Oh yeah, this is pretty good color too. What is in this? Okay, if you didn't know this already, probably all of y'all are rolling your eyes, but on the side of the tube of paint, it'll tell you what the pigment is, and this is PO48 is the pigment. PO stands for pigment orange, and then 48, don't ask me. But like on Quin Gold, it's always the wrong side. It's a combination of quinacridone gold, PO48, and nickel azo yellow, which is PY150. So it's those two pigments together. So when you play around with Quin Gold, and then you turn around and play with Quin Burnt Orange, guess what? You come up with a super similar. Oh, people, this is a good color. And I believe it's the PO48. I know I stopped. I squirreled. I believe it's the PO48 that is no longer being made anymore. If you didn't know this, and maybe you do, and I'm just rambling, but pigment manufacturing is largely decided by car manufacturers because of the quantity of pigments that they require. Cosmetics and art, we piggyback off of whatever the car industry is ordering, and we don't have I don't know if there's just not enough demand, or whatever. But pigment manufacturers manufacture the pigments that are being requested, right? It just only makes sense. I mean, from a business standpoint, I get it. And car manufacturers are the largest consumer, maybe that's the right word, of pigments out there, which makes you want to wonder how out of balance that feels like, but that's another debate for another day. Anyway, car manufacturers have stopped requesting PO48. So the pigment manufacturers, whoever those people are, said, okay, we don't want to have warehouse space and hold room for a pigment that is no longer being sought after. And like all things, bell-bottom jeans, platform shoes, stuff comes and goes out of style. And so right now, go away. We don't want you. PO48 has stopped being, is no longer being produced by the, and I don't know how many, is there one pigment manufacturer? Are there 5? Is there 2 pigment conglomerates that who knows? These are all things that people smarter than me could educate us on. But it was announced, I don't know, it's been at least a year, maybe a year and a half, that PO48 is no longer being offered. And then, whatever stores or whatever, maybe it's longer ago than that, and whatever quantities, Golden and Core and Winsor Newton and any of the others that had of that pigment, You know, they had enough to make however much more paint they were going to make, Daniel Smith. And then they're going to discontinue offering, you know, discontinue those colors. So I've been somewhat hoarding. Okay, exactly hoarding. Anything with PO48 in it. You'll notice this brand new tube of Quinacridone Burnt Orange. Yep, I only ordered one more of those because the name orange kind of throws you off a little, and you'll see as I get to the, you can see even here, this is that nickel hazel yellow is really making that less orangey over there. Goodness, got a big glop of pigment right there, and I did not want that. Okay, I don't like rinsing it off, but I got to, because that's just unfortunate that I picked up a glop of pigment off my palette, accidental like. I think I need a little more pigment in this though. This looks a little too much of a jump from that hue to that hue. All right, now let's water this bad boy down and see if we can't get a really nice wash with our orange. Anyway, PO48, if you like it. Anytime I walk into a Dick Blick or my local art store, I look and see if they have any. Fewer and fewer situations are going to, I've not been able to find it in the last probably 6 months. That goes for acrylic or watercolor. That's fine. It'll come back, just like anything else. It'll circle back around, as it always does. All right. Well, there is our orangey orange study. That Pyrrol, man, it just jumps out at you and says, "Surprise! Pumpkin is here." So I hope you enjoyed these oranges and these pumpkins and golds and, you know, a whole bunch of different things going on here. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks for staying. Talk to you soon. Bye.